that's a big plus for
Concerts.
Seabrook too. Who's taking a lot of hits with the 146 expansion. We've lost a lot of restaurants and a lot of commercial development, so it's
big time.
It's cool seeing some see some positive come this way.
Yeah.
Once that construction is finished, I think even like at the old Seabrook Peninsula over there, there's nothing out there right now. But once all the construction is finished, I mean, I don't know. My opinion, I'd be surprised if something didn't go in.
Oh yeah,
I have my own opinions on that chunk of land, but I actually spoke in depth with economic development about that land for about 10 minutes last Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, that's a rough patch, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've tried, and one day it will be something grand. And I'm surprised that Margaritaville didn't look more into that.
But you're talking about the Point?
The Point.
Yeah.
So we refer to it as the Point here. Yeah. So Seabrook Point.
But Peninsula works too.
Yeah.
I knew what you're talking about.
And I didn't even at that time remember what. But yeah, it's like Seabrook Point's kind of what the economic development considers that.
That's what
right?
they call that.
Where all the fish markets are right now.
Yeah.
I have this theory.
Of course, Pappadeaux's was there back in the day.
It was.
Yeah, that was glorious.
I told
that
you
was pre me for sure.
Yeah, that was pre Hurricane Ike.
okay.
Yeah. Hurricane Ike took care of it. Unfortunately,
dude, that was the flagship.
Yeah,
Pappadeaux's.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, dude, flagship.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was sprawling, massive.
Oh, it was special.
I mean, it was special, dude.
And it was the one Pappadeaux's that was allowed to do magazine marketing because they were in a kind of unique situation.
Buddy.
They were the only Pappadeaux's that wasn't on like an interstate or a loop or something, right?
That's funny.
Yeah, they were kind of tucked away. But I worked with that Pappadeaux's for years and years until Hurricane Ike.
I dined there many times.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I mean, I have a lot of good memories there.
Great memories there. Yeah,
it's crazy to think it's just gone.
And of course, when I think of the Point, and I think of some of the buildings that are no longer there, I think of it was my old photography platform when I used to take pictures of yachts for yacht brokers with the Kima Boardwalk in the background.
Yeah.
Get up high and get a shot of a nice Sea Ray with the Kima Boardwalk in the background back in the early actually late 90s and
it could
early
use
2000s.
some work. It could use some work.
So much potential.
It's so
and of
much
course, those fish
potential.
markets are great. I mean, and they've all upgraded and stuff. But there's room for more. I mean, there's obviously a lot of land that's not being utilized to its fullest.
I have a theory, and like I said, I don't want to have conspiracy theories on air, but I do think that I have to say I really do think that Tillman and Landry's is a part of that.
Possible.
I really and again, I'm making stuff up, but I really feel like they have a really strong interest in that,
and keeping that, not competing with them.
Developed, Like I mean, I really think that it's not only
it makes sense.
There's a lot of factors with that land, but I think that Tillman has a little piece of lobbying it, and he's like, no.
Right.
So
it makes sense for sure.
Kind of like, why did they never open a football team in San Antonio? Because Jerry Jones said no.
Right.
He said no.
They had a Canadian League team for a little while.
Yeah, well, I mean, a long time ago. Yeah. No, I mean, it's cowboy country.
Yeah, cowboy country.
That's Landry's country right there.
Right.
I mean, even though it's not, I hate to say it because I'm
Fertitta country.
I'm a
Seabrook
kid,
right, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's interesting, though.
Well, we heard a conspiracy theory last week after we left the Pier 6 and went to Kima and talked to a couple of the bar owners there, and about different things happening, and which I guess I shouldn't have brought up, but I did.
What conspiracy was that?
That Landry's is trying to make a run at a lot of the bars and restaurants, that are not currently part of the.
So that you can put.
Well,
that
I mean
out there.
I'm just reporting what I was told.
That's from we don't know this for a fact. We heard from some sources that are.
I mean, there's been rumors about that kind of stuff for years and years.
That Landry's Tillman Fertitta is buying up some of the property around there, along with other developers. There's 2 or 3 guys that are pretty much own it all
Up here, or
Kima, the Lighthouse District.
There's 3 guys that own it all. Yeah, pretty much.
And of course, the Kima Lighthouse District used to be all like, Yankee Candle, retail stores, Yankee Candles, Tommy Bahama shirts, and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, Palapas put the first bar. Well, T-Bone Thomas was always there, but then Palapas put a bar in, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 bars and restaurants everywhere, which was probably the right move. I mean, I know that I actually did, knew some of the owners of some of the stores that they're trying to gravy chain the marketing from the boardwalk to sell their Yankee Candles and fudge and different little things. But I think bars and restaurants is probably the right move.
Yeah, in the end
from a
city.
revenue perspective,
yes,
for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. No, so that's the Triangle and
Kemah Triangle,
the Kemah Triangle. It's at 6th Street, and man, they definitely made a name for themselves. They're still expanding.
Yeah.
Me and John, we just went to Bubble Jungle the other day after our show. And,
speaking of St. Patrick's Day, they're going to have a pretty awesome show tomorrow with somebody that was actually a guest on one of our earlier shows. They're going to have Ojos Rojos.
Oh,
yeah, so Joe Sorrento and the crew from Ojos Rojos will be there.
Joe on the
if
show,
I wasn't going to be taking the family up north to Dallas, I'd be going to the Bubble Jungle tomorrow.
Yeah, I've actually ran into Joe over there a couple times.
Okay,
talked to him, and that was where he first said, he wants to come back on the show, and then he gave us a big shout out. I think a couple weeks ago, and said, "Man, dude, I'd really love to be a guest on the show again." We love having local artists on the show, guys that perform on the water, sail,
right?
Mark Board, Joe.
Speaking of Mark Board, I'm going to give John one of the books because with the whole Upper Coast and
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you'll love that.
Yeah,
awesome.
So was he like our first unofficial guest, or like
he was one of our early guests, right? I mean, back at the old.
Was he after the boat show, or before? He was like our episode right after.
I think he's right after.
So we had Mark Board on, who was
he's a sailor.
He's going to sail around the world.
He's been
front
man for
perform at venues all over the world. But
front man for many bands, Shark Attack, Cassette Tape, and a lot of real popular bands. But he put together a sailing tour that actually left Cabo. And I forgot how many days, and I forgot the stats because we actually made a book out of it after the fact, and they recorded an album on their sailboat. But basically, they went on tour by boat all up and down the Texas coast from here down to Corpus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, did they not hit SPI?
I'm not sure they got that. I think they might have stopped at Corpus.
Yeah.
So but
Fair enough,
but I mean, they played like Sargent. They played a lot of little venues along the way.
Oh yeah.
And it was all by boat and bicycle.
Yeah. Oh, nice! That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so
awesome.
It's called Guitar Strings and Sailboat Things, and
it
was originally going to be the 3 lead singers from 3 really popular bands. One of the guys chickened out the last minute, so they brought in another guy. But represented 3 different bands, and there's just a 3-man crew, and a dog. And they went up and down the coast.
And John, you published this book, right?
Yeah.
So
I was the publisher of the book.
Man,
we've sold out like 5 times.
Wow!
And we actually need to do another press run. I think we're going to hook up with Amazon on the next one because the publisher I had been printing with actually is no longer in business.
So y'all are still actively selling.
Yeah. No, Mark's in New Mexico now, kicking ass, and
dude, picking up. Doing some big songs,
big gigs,
I mean, big gigs,
he's like
dude.
Huge in France right now.
He just launched an album, bro. I mean, dude,
he's always been a really talented guy.
Just at an international type level. I mean, dude, he's awesome. So he performed on the show. It was amazing.
Yeah.
He gave us some of our classics.
Okay.
I didn't know the songs, but they were amazing. He's heard them and fan favorites over the years.
What's the genre?
Yeah, I mean, so Shark Attack, which
changes it up.
Shark Attack, which is probably more in the late '90s and early 2000s. That was kind of more like beach rock. I mean, they actually had a pretty hard edge. Then Cassette Tape was kind of more of a, I don't even know how to describe Cassette Tape. Rock and psychedelic and Cassette Tape. I would actually argue is probably one of the most popular bands from this area that people would like to see reunite.
Right.
And then he had the crew was actually the three-piece band that did the boat tour. And then that captain, which is Mark, but he has the whole band. They've toured the country many times.
Very cool.
But now he's completely solo, and I think it's just Mark Board, and he's like on a French record label right now.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, he's got a boat in Eureka, California. This 50-year-old trimaran that's never, up until he took control of it, it's never seen the water. Okay. And it's just huge. I mean, it's just the most impressive boat I've ever seen. And his goal is to, I think it's Sailboat World Tour or sailboattour.com. His goal is to take that boat around the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
he kind of pit stopped right now in New Mexico to get some work, make some money, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's been touring up there in New Mexico and Utah in that area. But real talented guy. Grew up here. Was actually a competitive sailor as a youth. Was very involved over at the Houston Yacht Club and Lakewood Yacht Club back in the day.
Yep.
And so it's really cool to And we're gonna pop open. Speaking of Galveston Island, where the Texas Motor Surf Cup's gonna be, we're gonna
almost went down there today, man. I was trying to stop in there and talk to them about getting involved in the race.
Man, we need to get
I would love
we need to get him on the show, and then
do.
the rest will take care. His background is offshore fishing. I mean, this is the owner of another Mark. Yeah.
Pop a top, guys. Yeah, cheers.
Yes. Cheers, guys.
Weekends on the water, Naughty
Absolutely.
Nation, Upper Coast, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed with all the stickers and the koozies and all that.
Thank you for the koozies and the stickers, my friend.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
No, I like
absolutely.
this,
I need to purchase some of your hats. Let me know how I can get them, dude. I'd love to rock them. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Uppercoastlife.com.
Uppercoastlife.com. I was about to read it.
Uppercoastlife.com.
I'm going to order those tonight.
So now you were saying, is this...
So that's Spindletop out of
Heavy
Houston.
Hands.
Heavy Hands,
Yeah,
which has become
Someone
kind
else
of my
we
go-to.
also want to have on the show
Right,
at
yeah.
any time.
I've had the lead brewer on
He
the
has,
other
yeah.
show back in the day, but it's time to get him on here.
Okay.
And
then-
this
and
is
that's Galveston Island.
Galveston
really.
Island Citramelo, kind of one of my go-to IPAs.
Yeah, so you got Galveston Island and Galveston Bay. Both of them are like friends of the show
Yeah.
and local.
Yeah. You got Beerfoots down there on the island.
water-related beers. I
Yeah.
mean, so
Tiki Wheat's a favorite of mine.
Yeah. My wife
Down
loves
in
Tiki
Galveston
Wheat. Yeah.
Island.
Tiki Wheat went hard. I mean, they really pushed that for a while. Yeah,
Galveston
everybody
Island-
knows Tiki Wheat.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Galveston Island was the second brewery. Obviously Galveston and Galveston County has such a history of breweries. The old what was the Falstaff brewery back in the day?
Oh, I
which
love the
closed
history.
like in the 70s.
It was the most advanced brewery in the United States in its time.
Well,
yeah.
literally the brewing in Galveston, goes back to before Prohibition. And then when Prohibition hit, they turned it into root beer. And then after Prohibition was lifted, they started brewing beer again. Then I think it was 1976 they stopped. And there was a couple other, there's like a brew pub or two. Of course, this is back before the laws changed in Houston or in Texas, where a brew pub was basically a restaurant that had a small brewing system because the beer couldn't leave. I mean, you could only drink there on site.
Right.
Of course, now a brew pub, unless they're huge like St. Arnold's or Carbach, a brew pub can basically distribute to bars, restaurants, and everything. I mean, it's a whole different ballgame now. But for about, I think, 20, 30 years, there were no breweries in Galveston County until Galactic Coast Brewing Company.
First brewery in Galveston County.
We were the only brewery in Galveston County for a couple years, and then Galveston Island was the second, and then
and now there's a lot.
There's quite a few now. Yeah.
Well, now, so has Galveston Island Brewing, have they finished all their construction of their new...
So they're over there by Moody now, right? Yeah, they're
they're off of Stewart.
Well,
yeah.
So they were adding on.
Yeah,
they were adding like some extra seating area, and it was all.
They've been doing that on and on. There may be some new. I mean, I know that even what they had 2 years ago was so much bigger than what they had previously.
They've expanded since then.
Yeah, they've expanded a couple times.
But I think they're constantly doing things.
And I think they even built a separate offsite facility that's kind of a lab for doing yeast management. I mean, they're getting deep into it. I mean, they're in it to win it, man. I mean, they're. I mean, so much respect for them and everything they've done. And
all the guys around here, man. I mean, we got to give a shout out to
Saloon Door.
Saloon Door. I
Saloon
mean, my
Door,
goodness.
Yeah.
Do you know about Saloon Door?
No, I don't. No.
Saloon Door,
dude.
Backfish Brewing.
We got to take him to Saloon Door.
Where are they
I'm
at?
overdue.
Where are they out of?
They're actually
Webster,
They're
man.
right here.
Really?
Yeah, they're kind of tucked in where the
okay.
bypass is, kind of back behind the movie
Dude,
theater.
they're big right now, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They got
they're
all sorts of funky stuff going on.
And they've got
Yeah.
Galveston
Gotta check 'em
connections
out.
too. Yeah,
They
I think they're from the Dickinson area originally. But yeah, a lot good guys. Josh and the whole crew there. Yeah. Yeah,
Ors is a big fan of theirs.
That's right, yeah.
So every time
Yeah.
Ors comes on the show from Saltwater Recon, of
Yep.
course he brings us some Saloon
Yeah.
Door. He's always
Okay.
like, bringing Saloon Door in. So that's cool.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of his parties over there, like anniversaries and things. I actually went to, I think, his 1 millionth view on his website.
Oh, wow.
I went to a big party at Saloon Door with Saltwater
very
Recon
cool.
and Ors, who's like a partner, of had him on the show. He's sponsoring the race. He's just been a friend of mine since 2018. Ors actually was a big part of linking me up, believe it or not, with some of the key players in sports and tourism with Galveston.
Oh,
so
nice.
Nice.
me, Ors, and the guy that basically runs sports and tourism in Galveston had a lunch in 2018.
Okay.
And here we are.